Hey guys, welcome back to Zero News. I got an update on the Israeli conflict going on. Today's article is coming from the ZeroHedge.com website by Tyler Durden, titled Biden Phones Netanyahu After Israel Flattens AP Offices in Gaza and Doesn't Condemn Attack. Saturday, May 15, 2021. According to the White House readout of Biden's Saturday call to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the U.S. president reaffirmed his strong support for Israel's right to defend itself against rocket attacks from Hamas and other terrorist groups in Gaza, while condemning the indiscriminate attacks coming from the Gaza Strip. He merely raised concerns about the safety and security of journalists and glaringly absent with any specific mention in the call readout of the intentional targeting of the media building, which was hit by a reported 6 airstrikes earlier in the day, causing it to be flattened. Now, according to Axios in the call with Netanyahu, Biden stopped short of an outright condemnation of the attack, but merely raised concerns about civilian casualties in Gaza and the bombing of the building that housed AP and other media offices, according to the Israeli official. The opening section from the White House statement on the call is as follows. The president spoke today with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. The president reaffirmed his strong support for Israel's right to defend itself against rocket attacks from Hamas and other terrorist groups in Gaza. He condemned these indiscriminate attacks against towns, cities across Israel. Now, the president updated the prime minister on high-level U.S. engagement with regional partners on this issue and discussed ongoing diplomatic efforts. Now, the president noted that the current period of conflict has tragically claimed the lives of Israeli and Palestinian lives, including children. He raised concerns about the safety and security of journalists, reinforced the need to ensure their protection. Now, Biden also phoned Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Palestinian officials confirmed, which marks a first during his administration. Axios details the call as follows. President Biden updated President Abbas on U.S. diplomatic engagements on the ongoing conflict and stressed the need for Hamas to cease firing rockets into Israel. A White House readout of the call said. The Palestinian Authority on Friday criticized the U.S. position on the Gaza crisis and called the Biden administration to intervene. And further, Abbas's spokesperson, Nabil Abu Rudina, was quoted in a statement, "The silence by the Biden administration about what Israel is doing and the claim it is self-defense led to massacres in Gaza and the West Bank. We ask the U.S. to take action because it is the only party in the world who can stop Israeli aggression." Meanwhile, more and more protests are popping up across Europe and some in the United States expressing solidarity with Palestinians. Protesters gathered in London, Berlin, Madrid, and Paris as the worst violence in years raged between Israel and militants in Gaza, AFP and others observed. The death toll continues to climb into the night Saturday, with regional media counting at least 145 deaths in Gaza from the airstrikes. In Israel, at least 11 have been killed by the continuing onslaught of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad rocket fire, amid increased international condemnation for the appalling civilian death toll and especially high number of children killed and wounded. Netanyahu's office released a statement placing blame squarely on Hamas for the casualties. After the reported death of a family of 10 in an Israeli strike in Gaza this morning, 8 of them children, the Prime Minister's Arab language spokesman blamed Hamas, Channel 12 reports. Hamas bears full blame for the deaths of civilians in Gaza, he says in a statement. It sought this escalation and started it when it attacked Jerusalem. It intentionally buried its rocket launchers and weapons caches and posts in the center of residential areas, and this is a war crime. It attacks our citizens to kill as many of them as possible, and that is another war crime. In the U.S., many are taking increasing notice of the apparent complete lack of any U.S. plan or diplomatic intervention towards a ceasefire. For now, it seems the Biden White House is merely content to express concerns as the region burns. There is an update at 12:49 p.m. So far, the Biden administration has stopped short of condemning the Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza offices of U.S.-based Associated Press and other international media outlets, which flattened the 12-story Al Jala Tower, resulting in widespread outrage from journalists and media rights organizations across the globe. Hours after the attack, Joe Biden, as reportedly phoned Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to express Washington's concerns and to convey the paramount responsibility to protect journalists. This also, as the death toll continues to soar and unrelenting airstrikes, also as Hamas rockets continue to fly towards Israel, at over 140 Gazans killed since Monday. Update 12:30 p.m. The White House has said it communicated its concerns to Israel over the safety of the journalist after IDF airstrikes obliterated the 12-story office building that housed international media headquarters in Gaza, most notably the AP and Al Jazeera. Now, we have communicated directly to the Israelis that ensuring the safety and security of journalists and independent media is paramount responsibility, White House Press Secretary Psaki wrote. AP CEO Gary Pruitt previously said in a statement, "We are shocked and horrified that the Israeli military would target and destroy the building housing AP's bureau and other news organizations in Gaza. They have long known the location of our bureau, and new journalists were there. We received a warning that the building would be hit.